repêchages of the mixed under-19 double sculls. And to kick us off, we've got the first repêchage, which will be a row over for the Netherlands. So we've got our first race will be the Netherlands in repêchage 1. They will be rowing on their own, just due to the progression system. But they will still be racing at full race pace in order to progress through to the next round of this event. Just whilst we're on the mic, I've been asked to give a call out to Tunisia. If Tunisia can please come and speak to the umpires here. You're still due to come and make your lane selection. So that is Tunisia, if you can please come and find umpires here on the course. Now, we've got a little bit of a change in environment. Scotty and I have been here from the start of the day when we had nice high tide, where we were all the way up there on the beach. Now, we're right down here by the water's edge at low tide. And we were just noting a bit of a change in the wind here as well, Scotty, that's going to, as you can see from our flags, impact the cruise quite heavily.
Absolutely. Earlier on this morning, we were high water, right up the top of the beach, and we didn't really have any wind to contend with, which meant that it was a bit of a flat water course, everybody coming straight off the beach. But this afternoon, we're right down at the bottom of the tide. The wind is picked up and is blowing in from the west, southwest, which means it's actually going to affect the course this time, and it's going to make a difference, and all the rowers are going to have to take it into account to get round the course in one piece.
Yeah, we were certainly saying, especially for the side-by-side, that's going to make the turning point, which is at the end of this 250-metre stretch. If you look out to that big orange buoy at the end, this sideward wind is going to be quite challenging because it's going to try and push the boat the wrong side of that turning point, and they're going to have to row quite out and into the wind in order to be able to make that turn correctly.
Yeah, it certainly is. Both boats in both lanes have to leave these turning marks to port to their left-hand side of the boat as they make their way round. So the wind's going to be pushing everybody down onto it. So they'll have to be really on their nav. The boat handlers will probably be making a lot of corrections for them to make sure that they clear the mark and don't end up getting washed down and tied up on it.
So lots of action to look forward to. Make sure you keep your eyes on those tight turns, and just a few moments to go until we kick off the repêchages of the under-19 mixed double sculls.
Right, the junior mixed double sculls. We have 3 minutes to start time.
Did your training last week?
It won't be for long, I don't think. Weather out. It looks like they just sort of blow through. Oh, really?
The junior mixed double sculls crew from Tunisia need to come and make the selection for the lane, please. Could Tunisia come and report to us here at the start? There will be a buzzer test happening very shortly. Netherlands, you can put your boat in the water, please. Okay, Netherlands. Attention. Go.
Underway with this first repechage of the mixed under-19 double sculls. Now, you may think a little bit strange just to see one boat out there on the water. This, for the next repechages, will be head-to-head with two crews. But we had a withdrawal from this event, which means that the advertised progressional system means that this boat still has to complete the repechage in order to be able to progress. This is the boat from the Netherlands. This is Annick van Beuzekom and Bear Florijn. And doing a really good job into this difficult wind, like we said, Scotty.
Quite. I think from what we can see with the boat handlers, hands all the way over to the right into the wind direction, showed how much correction was needed at the beginning. But they've obviously taken that into account, nicely cleared that first mark, and now just need to be careful not to end up getting blown too far downwind of the second mark. They're about to hit the breeze line. You can see the water gets darker, and that shows where the greater wind is starting to affect the course.
Women's
So
solo.
the Netherlands will watch them.
3 minutes.
We'll watch the Netherlands going round the turning point in just a moment's time, but with a great view of the course up in our commentary box. Karis and Neve. Neve, what can you see from up by the Harbour Lounge?
So our view has changed a lot this afternoon because the tide has gone out. So we are back the beach a little bit, but we're looking at the Netherlands here. They're just going around that turning marker, and I don't think they've been blown too much. They're still pulling there with that left hand to get around. So they are nice and straight now on the way home. We can see the bow oarsman there looking over his shoulder, just making sure he is staying in a straight line. We can really see here on the pictures that there is a big push across the course, but they are working hard here to stay it straight.
Odi, maen nhw wedi cael dechreuad da, maen nhw wedi mynd rownd y bwy yn y cefen fyna nawr, a mae'r gwynt yn ei gwthio nhw, mae'r gwynt yn dod o ochr yr harbwr fan hyn. So fyddwn ni'n gweld lot o gwchen nawr felly gwthio a gweithio yn galed I aros ar y llinell syth I gyrra nôl i'r traeth.
So the big thing here now as they start to approach the beach is that they don't want to be blown too far off their course, because of course the bowman will have to jump out and run around the flag up to E there on the beach. So they should be starting to approach you there now. Camilla.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Neve. Bear Florijn in the bow seat will have to keep his eyes pinned to the beach, which is exactly what he's doing. They are ensuring that they are committing to full race pelt here in this repechage. And they've judged that absolutely perfectly, ready for this sprint up the beach, Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely. They've clearly had to work quite hard to not end up too far down to the left, but they've managed to come closer to the flag than I thought they might do, and that's across the line now.
1 minute.
Right, heat 2. Put your boats in the water, please.
Swiftly on to the next repechage now. This is Spain versus the Bahamas. We've got the Bahamas in lane 1, Spain in lane 2.
Czech Republic. Put your boat in the water.
Okay, crews, get ready.
Czech Republic. Attention.
Attention. Go.
Go.
And straight on the buzzer and straight off the line, Spain and Bahamas dashing straight to the boat. Of course, you don't have to go around the flag on this sprint out of the beach. And the Bahamas off to a great start here in this under-19 mixed double scull, Scotty.
Absolutely. We just saw a little bit of extra distance run by the Spanish rower, but now they're in the water. I'm sure they're going to be working hard to make up any slight delay there. It'll be interesting seeing two boats side by side to each other to actually get a chance to see how the wind affects each side of the course.
So around those slalom boys they go, and it's looking fairly evenly matched here. Some great direction going on by the boat handlers. Each crew, of course, allowed 2 boat handlers for these races, and you can see them waving their arms in the air, just directing them around the correct way along the slaloms and in towards the turning point. And with this difficult wind, it is so important that they get that direction to ensure that they don't suffer those time penalties. As they approach the turning point, Niamh Carris, what can you see from up there in the tower?
Yeah, conditions are much clearer today. We can see, like I was speaking to boat handlers earlier, and even they were finding it hard to direct because they were staring straight at the sun. So it's much easier to see now. And just going around that turn now, we have the Spanish crew who got a really good turn. The crew from the Bahamas are just coming in. They are turning. They're a little bit slower going around. So it is that Spanish crew, Manuel and Paula Blanca, who got around there quicker.
Do, with cwch Sbaen, o'n nhw wedi, deiawd Sbaen wedi cael treiad da iawn lan ar y bwy, ar y top fyna. Oedden ni'n cloi, o'n nhw'n gyflym, o'n nhw'n reit ar bwysau a gyda'r pwer yn dod mas o'r... mae Sbaen wedi stopo hwnna, basa draw I Niamh.
Oh, if we look out the course here now, it is the Spanish crew who have gotten stuck on that middle marker. They almost went the wrong side of it, but they just corrected. But it has given a chance for the crew from the Bahamas to make up a lot of ground there. Fair play to Spain, though. They managed to get around the right side of it, I believe, from where I'm sitting. But look at this now. It was Spain's race, but the Bahamas are coming. Camilla, I'm not sure who is going to get it.
Yeah, and Spain as well, falling victim to this wind, pushing them further away from their flag, which they do need to run around in order to be able to hit the buzzer when they finish. And so the further away from that track that they are, the less direct that run is going to be. So they're opening the door here for Bahamas, who've come right back into this race.
A couple of little errors definitely putting them a bit behind the pace there, but they've obviously found the speed required to get the bow on the beach first. Little stumble exiting the boat there, but he's back on his feet, running up round the flag, and looks like it is going to be the Spanish rower across the line first.
Tunisia.
Yeah, Manuel Vera Montesinos will cross the line for Spain, hit the buzzer and complete that under-19 mixed doubles repechage. Let's hear it for all of these athletes in these repechages. A great race there all round.
Heat 3, put your boats in the water, please.
Spain, put your boat in the water.
So quick, these beach sprint races, race after race, barely any time to catch our breath here as we move on to repechage 3 of the under-19 mixed double sculls. In lane 1, we've got Germany, Benjamin Farr and Carla Strasberger. And in lane number 2, we've got Sweden,
Spain, attention,
Adam Warburg and Marta Brun-Carlsen.
Poland, put your boat in the water. Poland, attention, go! United States of America, put your boat in the water.
Okay. Attention.
On the drop of the flag, both Sweden and Germany go away, and I saw Carla Strasberger giving directions to her boat handling crew to ensure that they were absolutely ready to receive her into the stroke
United
seat.
States of
Both
America.
crews now pushing away from the beach, and a great start there for Sweden, Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really clean, quick entry straight off the boat. Again, the boat handlers, you see the way they place the oars in the hands of the stroke rower, and it just means they're powering off the beach. And you can see they're already round the first mark, probably a boat length or two ahead by this point. Obviously, handling the wind, handling the set across the course really nicely, and powering down towards that second mark.
Well, it looks like it's been a great start for Adam Wahlberg
water.
and Marta Brun Carlsen, who are already moving around the second slalom here. Neve, do we still think it's Sweden's race here to lose?
It is at the moment, Camilla, for sure. And we can see now with the wind, it looks like crews are being a little bit more cautious. They are staying away from those marker boys as they head out the course. Earlier, they were hitting them with their riggers or oars, but they're just being that little bit more careful now.
Portugal.
And it is Sweden who have made
Attention.
it to that turning buoy before Germany. I know the wind is really pushing them off it, but Sweden seem to be around and they are headed back to the beach.
Oedden maen nhw'n mynd lot mwy llydan rownd y bwy ar y cefen fyna nawr, ond gweithio galed yn erbyn y gwynt, ond maen nhw wedi dod rownd yn saff gyda Sweden ar y blaen o beth mae'n edrych fel ar y foment.
We can see the power here from that Swedish crew. Just big, long, powerful strokes.
Ireland.
And it's really working in the conditions here today. They are just edging away from Germany. It is that crew, Adam Wahlberg and Marta Brun Carlsen, in the Swedish double here. Looking so strong against Germany over on the far side. And of course, as well, on the beach or on the water at the moment, we have the women's solo processional time trial taking place as well. So we can see 3 sculls out there on the water at the moment, but
Ireland.
over here in the
Attention.
under 19 mixed double sculls, it is all about Sweden, Camilla.
Yeah, absolutely right, Neve. We've still got the solos going on over on course A, but here on course B, it's head-to-head. It's knockout stages of competition here, and it looks like Sweden are going to be coming home in a qualifying position for the final 8 crews in this under 19 mixed double sculls event. And around the flag goes Adam Wahlberg
Italy,
of
put
Sweden.
your boat in the water.
And a great sprint there to round off Sweden's campaign in this 3rd repechage of the under 19 mixed double sculls.
I think that was the Swedish entry, a couple of boat lengths ahead there, benefiting from having played a really tight row around the marks and not lost too much ground to any of the wind across the course. And that's translated very quickly into a few boat lengths.
Heat 4,
Italy.
3 minutes.
Attention, go.
So we still have several repechages of this under 19 mixed double sculls event to go. The next one on the course will be the USA going up against Ireland.
Egypt, put your boat in the water. Egypt.
Well, as we await this next
1 minute.
repechage of the
Boats on the water, please.
Well, as we await this next repechage, the wind certainly picking up, Scotty. It's going to make those slaloms in that turn really challenging.
Really challenging, but as long as the boat handlers are dialed into what's happening and giving the directions early enough that it's only small corrections that need made, it shouldn't be a deal breaker for any of the teams as long as they're on top of it and making sure they make the corrections they need to quickly.
Great Britain, put your boat in the water.
Okay. Attention. Go.
Sign of experienced athletes there looking for the flag to drop so they can get away as quickly as possible. But what a sprint
Great
here from
Britain.
Ireland. Jack O'Donovan
Attention,
is
go.
like lightning there heading towards the boat. That was a great sprint from him.
It was indeed, and they've managed to get off the beach rowing hard just a couple of seconds earlier than the USA. However, you see them pulling hard, already correcting their course upwind, and it may well be that they're going to make that time off with a fast first 100 metres.
Well, the USA looking to make ground up here. This would be a real turnout for the books if the USA weren't to make it through
Finland,
this stage
put
of the
your boat
knockout
in the
competition,
water.
as we heard from Brian O'Leary's father earlier, medalists from last year in Portugal, back again here in Saundersfoot, Wales. And it looks like they've managed to make up that ground needed, but a big correction here to get them around the turning point, Neve.
Yes, USA are looking so strong now as they go around that second solemn turning marker, but Ireland are looking strong. As you said, they had gotten off to a
Finland.
very good start there. Kate
Attention.
Verling and Jack O'Donovan representing
Go.
Ring Rowing Club. They have quite a lot of experience rowing together this season, so I know that will stand to them as they go out the harbour here. But it is definitely the USA who have gotten to that turning buoy first, pulling hard on the left, making sure they get around, although it looks like the wind has pushed them a little bit. They are trying to correct. Ireland are also around the turning marker. They have gone also a little bit wide, but both crews now heading for
Germany,
home.
put your boat
O'i
in
Werddon
the water.
wedi cael treuad arbennig i fynd rownd y bwyn ar y cefen fyna yn cadw'n dyn i'r marker a mynd yn syth rownd, ond maen nhw nawr yn ymlaen yn ebyn gwynt. Ond edrychwch lawr y cwrs A nawr gyda'r menywod sengl, edrychwch mas am Helen Glyfar. Ni wedi gwybod chi sydd wedi bod ma dros yr haf, ni wedi cael y cystadleuaeth pencampwriaeth Cymru a Pryden Fawr, a ni'n gweld bod hi mas yn cystadlu nawr ar gyfer pencampwriaeth byd.
At the moment, we're really seeing the experience
Germany.
here in this USA
Attention.
boat. Britt and
Go.
Brian here. They are just starting to approach that final marker, although Ireland not that far behind them. It looks like USA may have come to the inside of that course there. I'm not sure if that may have affected them, but Camilla, they're just starting to approach that beach there now.
Yeah, I think quite a mature strategy from the USA, trying to head to the into the wind, which means that they'll get blown back onto the course as the wind picks up, and it's put them perfectly in
Netherlands,
position
put your
for the
boat in
sprint.
the water.
So I can only compliment some great steering there in the crew from the USA, which I think ultimately has got them into this comfortable position for the end of the race, Scotty.
Yeah, they ended up a long way to the right, probably the most to the right of the course that we've seen so far. As you say, compensating for the wind nice and early and giving them a really nice approach to the beach and a very easy win and run across the line.
Still absolute determination and power there for
Netherlands.
the Irish. Kate
Attention,
Verling
go.
will conclude that under
Heat
19.
5, 2 minutes.
Under 19 reportage.
Japan, put your boat in the water. Japan,
1 minute.
attention, go! Monaco, put your boat in the water.
Attention.
Underway now with this next repechage of the under-19 mixed
Monaco.
double sculls. It's Italy.
Attention, go.
It's Italy going up against Japan. We've got Japan in 1, Italy in 2. Both crews being forced very heavily to come round towards their starboard side blades and into that wind, Scotty.
Quite so. You can see how the boats are actually being held pointing up to the right, out
New
towards
Zealand,
Monkston Point.
put your boat
So when
in the
they
water.
and by holding the boats into the wind, it means that when they start rowing, they're going out in the right direction.
No.
So a great slalom here from both crews, fairly evenly matched here between Italy on your right if you're on the beach here in Saundersfoot. It's Japan on the left,
New
and I think
Zealand.
from my eye here at sea
Attention.
level, it looks to be Italy
Go.
in the lead. But Niamh, maybe you could tell us some more.
You're absolutely right, Camilla. Italy definitely out in the lead ahead of Japan. Japan are really working to point their bow into the wind now as they're heading towards that turning marker, making sure they're getting to the right side of it. So it is Italy who are around. Oh, they've hit. It looks like the bow person has kind of caught her oar on that turning buoy, but they are out and headed for home. But it did allow Japan to make up a little bit of ground there.
Do a wrth
Morocco,
bod Japan yn mynd
put your
rownd
boat
y
in the water.
bwy na ar y pen fyna. Nhw'n edrych bod nhw wedi cael un da wrth mynd rownd fyna. A maen nhw'n really nôl yn y gêm nawr yn erbyn yr Eidal.
Yes, the bow person looking over her shoulder here now in the Italy boat. Siblings Michelangelo and Alessandra Quaranta there for Italy. She's looking over, making sure she's coming into a straight line. Again, they're really having to pull hard on that left side to make sure they come into the beach straight so they can
Morocco.
run up the beach
Attention.
in a straight line around
Go.
their flag. So definitely as they come towards that final marker, it is Italy ahead of Japan.
Yeah, a great line here steered by both crews, and lots of power going into these final 20 strokes in towards the beach. They certainly do not slow down with the thought of impact of the sand.
So heat 6, 3 minutes.
So there go Italy onto the beach,
Malta,
and it's
put
going to
your
be
boat in
Alessandra
the water.
Quaranta. It's going to be Alessandra Quaranta doing the run here in lane number 2, cheered on by the voices on the beach. Lots of support here for these under-19s, and a great race here. Japan, with all their might, finishing their campaign in this mixed double sculls event.
Malta. Attention. Go.
So one final repechage due here in this under-19 mixed double sculls event. We've got Tunisia going up against Canada.
Heat 6, put your boats in the water.
So for the final time in these repechages for this under-19s mixed double event, we hear the instructions: put your boats in the water. Tunisia will be contesting in lane 2, Canada in lane 1.
Attention, go!
We're underway with this final repechage of the under-19 mixed double sculls. Straight beeline to the boats here for both Canada and Tunisia. It's going to be Canada that is going to be in first. Look at those bows pointed all the way in towards this wind. It's gusting though, isn't it? It's dropped right down.
It feels like we're now kind of into the 20, gusting 25, not in the worst bit. It is up and down a little, but further out to the course you can see the dark line of where it starts to affect the water further out. So they're rowing into the stronger wind. But both teams doing a lovely job of leaving the marks to their port side of the boats and not leaving too much space and not losing any ground on each other by the looks of it.
So I think it was, in fact, Canada that got out first to jump into the boat, but Tunisia have done a wonderful job around the first slalom buoy. Niamh, how's it looking from your position?
Yes, Canada definitely had the better start, but it is the scullers from Tunisia who just took off. They got stuck on the beach a little bit. It took them a few seconds to get going, but they've made up huge ground now. So both crews now heading towards those turning markers. As you mentioned, they're really pointing their bows up into the wind to make sure they don't get caught on those turning buoys. So I'll call it now as they go around. It looks like it is Canada going in, starting to dig their oars. Tunisia going in. Very even. Tunisia so expert here. They look so good at going around the turn, as do Canada. But coming out of the turn, I think it is Tunisia who might have just taken it ahead of Canada.
Cytuno fyna, fi'n credu bod Tunisia just wedi cael mynd ar y blaen fyna wrth mynd rownd y bwy ar y cefen fyna. O'n nhw mor dyn yn erbyn e, o'n nhw mor gyflym y defnyddio rhwyfi i helpu nhw fynd rownd.
Both crews working so hard here. There's very little in it, but I do think Tunisia still have a slight lead over Canada. Nothing in it though. They're into the last part of this race and it will come down to the sprint on the beach here. This is going to be such an exciting race, but as they just come up to the final marker, I actually can't call it. It is too close, Camilla.
I think we might have saved the best until last here in these repechages of the under-19 mixed double sculls. If you're on the beach, make sure you turn your eyes to this one. It's going to be an absolute humdinger as they come in stroke for stroke towards the sands, being screamed on by the boat handlers. I wonder who's got the fastest sprint in their legs, Scotty.
Well, I think we're about to find out, but it does look like the Tunisians got their bow on the beach first. They're around the flag, and I think may just pip the Canadian to the line.
There is a relief for Mohamed Ryan Hafsa of Tunisia as he hits that buzzer first. What a great race here to conclude those repechages of the under-19 mixed double sculls, and a clean race to finish off. So our next race here on this course, we're going to be starting again at 20 to 4, so 3:40 p.m. Make sure you make your way back here to see more action at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals.
Two. One.
Men's solo. Time trial. 3 minutes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 1, 2.
Just a few moments to go now until the time trial for the men's coastal solo.
One minute. Italy, put your boat in the water. Please clear the course. Italy, attention, go!
And we're underway with the time trial for the men's solos. Giovanni Vaccaro of Italy, the first to get out there and get around that course. And it looks like a nice, clean start. A great job there by the boat handlers getting him away safely. And blimey, that wind must feel pretty pushy out there in a solo scull, Scotty.
Yeah, quite so. It has come around a little bit back to the north, which means it's almost a downwind leg. So as long as he doesn't allow it to push him too far across the course, shouldn't have any problems.
On the water.
But it will probably mean that the return leg is going to be slightly upwind, and that's where he's going to have to really make sure it doesn't push him.
Egypt, attention, go!
So Ali Hassan of Egypt will be next down the beach. It's a long way down there to the boat in these pretty blustery conditions. This is a processional time trial now for these solo sculls. That means that we're releasing each of these athletes in time-separated blocks. And all of these scullers will make their way around this course in the fastest time they possibly can, down to the orange boys at the end.
Canada, put your boat in the water.
Along the back straight and back down straight towards the beach to get their timing chip across the line.
Canada, Attention. Go.
Aubrey Oldham for Canada will be next to contest in this solo scull. He's already been racing in the mixed doubles today, now contesting this smaller boat type in the solo. It's hard work getting all those sprints into your legs, Scotty.
Hard work, but also good experience, get a feel for the conditions, although this will be his first race of the afternoon with the new low tide and breezier conditions. But as we've seen from him in previous coastal races, we know
United States of America, put your boat in the water.
the experience in the coastals will definitely be paying off and his ability to handle the windier conditions well.
United States of America, attention, go.
Christopher Back of the USA gets the loudest cheer so far as he makes his way towards the boat. Plenty of support here from the US. And you can hear the noise here for Christopher Back of the USA. And just having to adjust his course slightly here to get onto the slalom boys, Scotty.
Yeah, he had a big push off from his boat handler there. He ended a little bit up to the right, but very quickly correct.
Greece, put your boat in the water. Greece, attention, go.
Mikhail Kalentzis of Greece is going to be towards his boat and onto this course in just a few moments' time. Let's keep the energy up here from the crowd. Let's keep the support going for all of these time trialists here in the men's coastal solo.
That was a very nice clean start, quick entry to the boat, and he is well off. Little bit of a correction to be made to get down onto the slalom, but he seems to be on it now.
Tunisia, put your boat in the water. Tunisia, attention, go.
Tunisia off the blocks there. Mohamed Tayeb of Tunisia will run out to his boat as Aubrey Oldham of Canada comes in. And remember to keep an eye out on the finish line here for these athletes completing their time trial, getting their timing chip across the line. Every single second counts.
Finland, put your boat in the water.
You can just see how the boat handler's struggling a little bit here, Scotty, to keep that boat on track with these high gusts.
Yeah, it's constant adjustment to make sure they hold it steady, keep the oars in the right position, and set it up as well as possible for the rowers.
Finland, attention, go.
Chris Back of the USA comes in as Joel Nakarainen of Finland goes out. All wrapped up nice and warm here as the rain pours down here in Saundersfoot. It's certainly getting more and more challenging as we run into the weekend's weather.
Brazil,
Yeah, quite so.
put your boat in the water.
Yeah, and what we're experiencing today is only a taste of what's going to come tomorrow, I think, where we've got higher winds from a slightly different direction, so it may well get some surf conditions for them to be launching the boat into. So a nice warm-up for everybody today.
Brazil, Attention, go!
Andre Dutra of Brazil is on his way in this Coastal Men's Solo event. We're about halfway through now of one of the most popular events, 25 athletes contesting this Coastal Men's Solo event.
Yeah, just making a clean entry into the boat, nicely set up by his boat handlers. And you can see that they've got some nice, they've got some bright coloured indicators.
Put your boat in the water.
Bright indicators there from his boat handlers to make sure there can be no mistakes as to which way to go, seen only with a couple of teams so far.
Yeah, absolutely love these little props here that the boat handlers have to ensure that they are directing well. Nice and fluorescent, nice and visible, even in the grey conditions. Like I say,
France, attention, go!
It's a great skill, this boat handling. More support here, rivaling the USA here, the French. Guillaume Borreur of France is into the boat and getting away. Blades handed to him. And again, a nice, clean start.
Czech Republic, put your boat in the water.
Yeah, that had been a nice, confident entry by the French rower there, who powered his way down towards the first mark. Nicely compensated for any set across the course, and looking like he's going to cut the next mark nice and fine, not giving any ground away before the turning point.
Czech Republic, attention, go!
The Czech Republic's Aleš Šušky will get underway. This is the 10th athlete from this Coastal Men's Solo event to take on the course. As a sprinting boat handler for France, ensures that their athlete makes the turning point. I think realisation there that the wind had just pushed him that little bit too far. But it looks like he's now safe to start making that turn.
Japan, put your boat in the water.
Always interesting to see how on this time trial we've got people on 3 different sections of the course, so there's so much going on. We can see there, I think the Brazilian entry having...
Japan, attention, go!
Sakaguchi Satoshi there for Japan. Just having to pause for the umpire to conduct his entrance down into the boat. It's cold, it's wet. Certainly trying to keep themselves warm and ready to race is a challenge in itself.
Spain, put your boat in the water.
Seeing ever more props by the boat handler teams. Maybe the trend of brightly coloured objects is rubbing off on everybody. Certainly makes it a bit easier on the shore side for them to see.
I think those are fans that the Japanese boat handlers are using. How clever is that? Fluorescent fans for Japan. Very impressive.
Spain, attention, go!
Spain now. This is Carlos Gonzalez for Spain, who leaps over the waves to get into his boat. Wow, what an impressive run here for the Frenchman as he comes into the line with tons of support here on the bank, catching up to the Brazilian ahead of him.
Poland,
Can
put
we
your
have
boat
Felipe
in the
to
water.
track 2? Felipe to track 2.
The rain coming in here, the wind having gone a little bit round to the west again, looking like it's all across the course. Everybody well dialed into it now. Boat handlers continuing to direct.
Poland, Attention. Go.
Maciej Przewojski of Poland will be next. He's done a lot of racing over this last week for the Polish team, and yet again he embarked on another run around this beach sprints course. A great entry for him, blades nice and square, and boat handlers already doing their job saying, get straight, get going, and get yourself towards those slaloms.
Portugal, put your boat in the water.
Certainly the greyer and windier conditions this afternoon, meaning much wider margins for error being left. Nobody's clipping those marks close like we saw this morning. I think there was nobody that didn't run the marks over this morning, but today everybody's leaving a nice bit of space, not wanting to lose any time.
Portugal. Attention. Go.
Yeah, certainly on the slaloms, they're being given a wide berth here with the gusting wind. There goes Portugal's Claudio Rodrigues Barbosa, and opting to slide into the boat. And again, those beautifully fluorescent markers from the boat handlers, ensuring that they are well seen from the bank to do their job correctly and as well as possible.
Put your boat in the water.
Have we got Felipe down on the beach? We need a seat on track B. A seat on track B. Felipe?
Sweden. Attention. Go.
Well, if you've just joined us here, this is the time trial for the Coastal Men's Solo. 25 athletes trying to get themselves as highly ranked as possible to get in with a chance of a direct qualifying spot through to the head-to-head. And there goes Dennis Gustafsson of Sweden, the 15th athlete, onto the course as the rain continues to fall here in Saundersfoot.
New Zealand, put your boat in the water.
As it gets wetter and greyer here, you can really see the need for these fluorescent aids for all of the boat handlers. We've got sometimes 3 sets of boat handlers on shore at one time directing their crew, so to have a bright colour to look out for through the grey beach in the distance must be so useful out on the water.
Yeah, some real troopers here, the
New
boat
Zealand.
handlers.
Attention. Go.
And there goes Ben Mason of New Zealand towards those boat handlers we just spoke of. It must be so cold to be stood there in that water, holding those boats steady. And a great technique the New Zealanders have developed here, keeping those blades square and ready to drop into the water and get rowing straight away. That's something that we've seen a lot of the Kiwis crews do across the course of today.
Germany, put your boat in the water.
Yeah, as you say, Camilla, how the boat's set up for them to jump into and power straight off makes such a difference to getting a clean and fast start. And those that get that set up right certainly have the advantage.
Germany, attention. Go.
Well, certainly the cold and the wet motivation enough to try and complete this course as quickly as possible here in this time trial. That's Jurek Salter of Germany, 17th athlete to get out there into the rain, and I think it's getting a little harder, so kudos to all of you supporters out here that are continuing to stand and watch in the rain. We absolutely love it that you're giving this event such support and encouragement. And we'd love to hear you giving
Britain, put your boat in the water.
And we'd love to hear you giving the athletes some support and encouragement. So let's keep the energy high. Let's make sure that we guide them through these final few hundred meters with lots of support.
Great Britain, Attention, go.
So the home team from Great Britain with a lot of support here as well on the bank. This is Gregor Hall of Great Britain. Again, leaping into the boat. And I think, in fact, the rain's just making the water that little bit flatter here, Scotty.
Yeah, I'd say so. A little bit flatter. Certainly, they seem to be having no problems getting off the beach.
Put your boat in the water.
No problems at all getting off the beach. Nobody slipping off their seat at the last moment. And all of the boat handlers knowing exactly what they need to do in terms of directing their rowers to a nice tight rounding of all these first set of marks.
Okay, the men's double sculls. We are 4 minutes from start time.
Attention, go.
And the rower for Peru making a fast sprint down the beach with his boat waiting a couple of meters further out than some of them. Again, it's a bit of a trade-off. Is the boat further out, less to row, but more time to splash through the water. And a last-minute correction by the boat handlers, getting him off in the right direction, straight down the course to the first mark.
Netherlands, put your boat in the water.
Testing one. Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Netherlands, attention, go.
Final few boats now to complete the course, and this is Gert-Jan van Deurne of the Netherlands. As the German Jurek Salter comes into the line. I'm sure a welcome return in these conditions to get warm and dry. And hope.
Ireland, put your boat in the water.
They're going to be grateful for this 500-metre row to have warmed up after what's probably a cold wait standing, waiting for their moment. Cold for the boat handlers as well, still seeing a lot of full commitment, submerging themselves in the water, giving every effort to get the boats off as fast as possible.
Attention, go.
So the British athlete Hall comes in, having to move the flag out of the way as Ireland goes out. This is Keelan Mannix for Ireland. And the boat handlers have got the boat at a real angle here to try and compensate for the wind.
Yeah, they certainly do. As often happens with when rain, little squalls come through, is that the wind direction changes slightly, can build. So I'm sure down on the water, they're doing everything they can to adjust for that on a second-by-second basis.
Switzerland, put your boat in the water. Switzerland, attention, go.
Here goes Switzerland. Scotty and I have just been discussing where Switzerland may or may not find bodies of water to row on the coast, but certainly an eminent sailing nation, which should indicate that coastal rowing could be a big sport for them. And some ripples now starting to develop out there on the water.
Barbados, put your boat in the water.
Yeah, the course has come alive here with the wind and the rain coming in. We can see the bands of rain moving its way across the sea towards us, I think, mainly. Certainly feels like it's towards us, and including the breeze as well, picking up and making it even more interesting out there on the water.
Barbados, attention,
Go.
to you and you can handle.
Barbados now. This is Christian Howard here for Barbados. I'm afraid we couldn't provide Barbadian weather here in Saundersfoot, but that's what makes it exciting. And as you can see, the numbers of athletes getting smaller and smaller here in this time trial. Just two more to go.
Put your boat in the water.
Just two more athletes to conclude this coastal men's solo time trial.
Malta, attention, go.
Here you go, Malta now. A very ginger sort of step there in towards the sea. Beautiful running there from Mark Shembry. And the penultimate athlete to get out there onto the water.
Morocco, put your boat in the water. Morocco, attention, go.
The final athlete here in the coastal men's solo, and the boat handlers just letting the boat get away from the beach somewhat. That's going to be tricky there for Moran Chlihi of Morocco to get into, but he's managed it, and a great save there from all involved. And a wonderful start despite that slight slip of the boat. They're directing him back towards the slalom course. And it's now just that journey around the buoys for this final athlete in this solo men's time trial. John Huppy of Switzerland will be next into the line and across that timing mat as quickly as possible. And as the rain comes towards us, like Scotty said, the athlete's disappearing somewhat. This course only 250 meters deep, but it's certainly getting misty and foggy out there as the rain draws in.
I think the wind dying slightly, so not so much need for the big overcorrections we've seen earlier on in the time trials today. But certainly, if they keep an eye on their shore team, I'm sure they'll be up to date with exactly the corrections that are needed.
So the final athlete here in this solos time trials making their way back towards the beach. And with that, and with the driest commentary position out of the team, I'm going to hand you back to Neve and Caris.
Thank you so much, Camilla. Yes, we do certainly feel sorry for you here. We're up in our commentary cabin, nice and dry, looking out at everyone there. But it is not dampening the spirit of the racing. It's been incredible to watch the men's solo, such great athletes out there with tough conditions. I'm sure it's very hard to see even from here. It's quite difficult. We can see the bright orange turning boys, but other than that, it is quite difficult to see. So as results are starting to come in from the men's solo, let me just refresh to make sure that I have the most up-to-date results as it stands. So the fastest there in that time trial in the men's solo was Christopher Back from USA in a time of 3 minutes and 4 seconds. But as I said, we are just waiting for the last of those results to update here in front of me. At the moment, as it stands in second place, was the Spanish sculler Carlos Gonzalez in a time of 3:12, and then the Canadian sculler Aubrey Oldham in a time of 3:13. So that is your 1, 2, and 3 so far, but things may change as the last of the scullers' times come in. But if you are looking out on the beach, you will see that the mixed double sculls are back on the water. So these already raced this morning in the processional time trials, and then the fastest of those went straight through to the last 16, which will take place tomorrow, and then the slower ones have to race now again in the second processional time trial. So we've already had Japan have gone through. As far as I can see, the Netherlands have gone through, and it looks like it might be just Sweden now who have just taken off in their time trial.
Oedden, so mae ni fyna wedi gweithio chi pwy sy'n mynd trwyddo, neu pwy oedd yr cloia gyda yr dynion unigol sy'n newid bod ar y ras amser. A ni nawr, beth i ni'n edrych nawr ar ras ochr y dde, wel yr trac beth sydd wedi cael ei rhoi mas yn un ar ochr dde bwys yr harbwr, yw yr cymysg, dwbl cymysg. So, achos o eisiau gymaint yn yr maes gyda, yn y categori yma, so y rhai oedd yn mae rhai cloiach o bore yma wedi mynd trwyddo, ond y rhai oedd yr afach bore yma wedi maen nhw'n goffo rasio eto prawn yma yn yr un fformat, sef yn erbyn y cloc, a wedyn y cyflyma yn mynd trwyddo i'r quarter-finals wedyn, wedi ar rhai yr afach yn goffo wneud mynd trwyddo i'r ras bore fori, le maen nhw'n bwrw i gilydd mas, a pwy bynnag yw'r cloia sy'n mynd trwyddo, pwy sydd ddim, mae cystadleuaeth yn gorffen fy ni.
Germany, attention, go.
We are still on the mixed double sculls here, and it looks like it is Finland who have just started in their processional time trial here. So both these rowers already racing earlier today. Joel Nakarin in the men's solo, and both of them also, both scullers here also raced in the quad earlier today. So lots of racing, lots of work done by their legs already today and lungs. So now we can see they're starting to take tighter lines now again as they head out the course. They just chose to hit the first marker buoy with their oars, as we saw all crews were doing earlier this morning. In the last few races, they decided to change tactics slightly. They decided to go a little bit wider just to ensure that they were going the right side of those slalom markers, because obviously if you go the wrong side, there is that penalty. But it looks like they are staying nice and tight now, so they are heading out towards that turning marker, and visibility is quite poor here now. The rain has come in, the fog has come in, so it's actually quite difficult to see when you're up here looking down. I'm sure it's a little bit easier when you're on the water rowing, but nice turn there now by Finland.
Oedden ni yn gallu gweld gyda'r glaw yn dy lawr nawr, mae'r gwynt wedi lleihau tyme bach sydd yn neud y rasid, y rhwyfwyr, maen nhw yn rhwyfo just yn agosach i'r bwys wrth mynd allan. A dyn nhw ddim yn cael eu gwythio cymaint mewn i canol y llwybr fan hyn. Ond mae dal efo ni dal ffili gweld yn blaen iawn achos y glaw yn cwmpo, ond achos y marciau mor glir allan, a maen nhw'n eitha llachar allan ar y dŵr, ni just allu neud mas, a mae pob un yn edrych a maen nhw'n rhwyfo ras arbennig allan na.
Rocco, attention. Go.
So back to the mixed double sculls, and it is Malta now just taking to the water. We had very poor visibility there the last few races. We couldn't even tell from here who was out on the water, but it is Malta just getting ready to take off. So the sprinter is heading down into the water. They have a nice long run now at the moment. Jumping in. Strokes person is in. The boat handlers are pushing them off. Bit of a slow start there, but they are now in sync. They are heading out the course now. So we have Mark Shermbury and Sarita Kassar there representing Malta. They were also racing in the solos there earlier on, just a little while ago. So they are nice and warmed up. So visibility seems to be improving a little bit. So you can see now the bowman looking over his shoulder. Looks like they're just slightly out of time there as they went around that first marker. I'm not sure, did they get caught slightly? But as they head out now towards that second marker, it is Malta out on the course.
Dyma ni, mae'n edrych fel ta Malta i'w rhaid diwetha nawr yn mynd trwyddo'r cyfnod hyn o raso. Byddwn ni yn dy lan nesa nawr yn dechrau am, wel, just ni rhedeg bach yn hwyr, ond byddwn ni yn edrych nawr y ras nesa le fyddwn ni'n to yn bwrw mewn i le fydd un cwch yn rhwyfo yn erbyn y llall, le fydd y gystadleuaeth, pwy bynnag sy'n ennill hwnna, bydd nhw yn mynd trwyddo i'r rown nesa, am pwy bynnag sy'n dod yn ail, bydd nhw ddim yn cario ymlaen yr gystadleuaeth, a hwnnw bydd y ras hwnna, categori yna, bydd y dan 19 dynion unigol.
So this is the final boat. They are just going around the turning marker now. Malta out there on the course. They're the final one in the mixed double. This is the second processional time trial in this category. Of course, there was so many entries. They did their first processional time trial this morning. The first 8 went through to the last 16, which will be held tomorrow morning. And this processional time trial is to determine the second fastest 8 who will be going through into that last 16 tomorrow morning. We still have a couple of categories left as well this afternoon. Coming up shortly, we will have the under-19 men's solo and the under-19 women's solo. So their round 2 will be coming up. They raced earlier in their processional time trial as well. So that will be coming up shortly. But Malta, as we look out the sea here, it is Malta. They are just passing that final marker buoy on the way to the beach to finish up this second time trial in the mixed double. So let's hear it for the last crew here in the mixed double time trial. It is Malta just approaching the beach here now. Mark and Sarita just taking those final few strokes. Bow person lay down, but he is out and running up the beach in the final time trial here this afternoon.
Junior men solo. Repechage. Five minutes.
Right, try now. Can you get this?
When the water table's up. Action is made. Yeah, it is. Fish can sit. Who else? Look after it. UHF.
Repechage 1. Great Britain, lane 1. Japan, lane 2. 3 minutes.
So next up, we've got the repechages of the under 19 men's solo. If you're still out here supporting, thank you for your continued bravery and spectatorship. It's been pretty dramatic conditions out here through the rain and the wind, but we appreciate you all being here on the beach for our athletes.
Crews, put your boat in the water.
So in go the boats to the water here in this repechage of the under 19 coastal men's solo. In lane 1, we've got Great Britain, and in lane 2, Japan.
Get ready.
Testing 1.
Great Britain, Japan. Attention. Go.
Here we go. This is the repechage of the Under 19 coastal men's solo. Great sprinting from both of these athletes. Japan in 2, Great Britain in 1. And improving conditions, Scotty, for these guys to get out there in the solo.
Yeah, they certainly are. It feels like the rain's backing off, and with it has gone the wind. These flags that we saw flying straight out earlier have really eased back down, and we can see with the gentler directions and corrections by the boat handlers needed now.
In Canada, please approach the tent to choose your lanes.
So straight over the slalom boy go Japan, a really direct route. Great Britain just shifting out slightly. James Cox here for Great Britain. For Japan, we've got Matsumoto Yoshimune in lane 2. And looking fairly even here as they approach this next slalom boy. Perhaps just Japan with the nose in front, but I'm going to defer here to Niamh Hayes up in the commentary box to tell us more.
Thank you so much, Camilla. Yes, great start there by the Great Britain scholar James Cox in the under-19 men's solo. He definitely is out ahead of Japan at the moment. In fact, he is at his turning buoy, making a very fast turn, while the Japanese scholar is still heading for that turning buoy now. So there is quite a lot between them at the moment. James Cox there already heading towards the second marker buoy on his way home, while the Japanese scholar Yatsumoto Yoshimune is just rounding that turning buoy heading for home. But if you are looking out, there is a massive gap now after opening up between the two scholars. James Cox just powering out ahead.
Do, fi'n credu oedd y rhwyfwr o Japan wedi cael bach o drafferth ar y bwyc yn y cefen fyna nawr, a nath hwnna cymeru bach o amser cyn i fydd yn ôl, ond Pryden mas ar y blaen.
Yes, James Cox there for Great Britain, just starting to approach that final marker out there, while the Japanese scholar is just after passing the second one. So James should be just approaching you now, Camilla.
Yeah, a lot of distance gained here by James Cox of Great Britain out in the lead, and looking fairly leisurely actually coming in towards the beach in comparison to some of the high intensity we've seen earlier in the day. And like we said, it's a lot of back-to-back races here, especially if you're having to go through the repechages. He'll be wanting to conserve some energy, Scotty.
Certainly is. It's a lot of time on the water and a lot of running to be doing as well. I think the Japanese rower here lost a little bit of time with a couple of misdirections and had some big course corrections to do, and that's clearly come back to a very definitive win by the GB rower.
Okay, junior woman.
Yeah, and the final strokes here for
3 minutes to start time. 2 minutes to start time, sorry. Put your boats in the water, please.
final strokes here for the Japanese athlete Matsumoto Yoshimune. And he's taken quite the dunk there in lane number 2. He's being told by his boat handlers to get round that flag to make sure he doesn't face any penalties. And a great run in here for Japan in this repechage of the under-19 men's solo.
Germany junior women's solo. Germany junior women's solo.
We have the boats in the water, please, for the first heat of the women's single.
Bruce, put your boat
Japan,
in the
lane
water.
1. Italy, lane 2.
Lining up now in this next repechage. We've got France in lane 1 and Spain in lane 2.
Get ready. Spain, France.
Attention.
Attention.
Go.
Go.
Here they go. It's Jaime Alberto Bernard of Spain, who's out of the blocks extremely quickly ahead of Evan Callot of France. But bums hit the seats around about the same time. And away they go into the distance. Who do you think got the better start there, Scotty?
I think it was definitely the Spanish athlete. A furious sprint down the beach to the boat there. He was straight in, despite a little mishap with his boat going in the water. They had it all ready for him. And he is making the most of that extra head start down the course now.
Yeah, so just looking to make it to the right side of that buoy. And Niamh, I think the French athlete's actually potentially going to miss this slalom buoy.
It certainly looks like it from here as well. I think you might have the better view at the moment. We're a little bit back down because the tide has gone so far out. But it looks like I think they both are the right side of it. I think they're okay at the moment. So if you are looking on the beach, we have the under-19 men's solo over on the left-hand side if you're looking. Then we have the under-19 women's solo over on the right-hand side. So there's lots of boats, lots of racing going on at the moment. Over the men's, they are so even, both of them hitting that turning marker at the same time. Very little between them. It looks like maybe France slightly ahead, but it is too close to call at the moment. And over in the women's side, again, quite close. It is between Poland and Italy. It looks
Just
like
repeating,
Italy
it is
have maybe a
Germany
couple of
in
lengths
lane
over
2,
Poland now at the moment.
in lane 1.
O, Dave, fi'n gwybod, edrych draw ar y ras nawr ar ochr chwith. Mae dyn ni'r dynion o dan 19 fyna, dynion unigol. Mae hwn yn mynd i fynd reit lawr i'r sprint i fynd lan yr trath. Boes bach, mae hwn yn ras a hanner fan hyn. A draw ar ochr dde gyda'r menywod o dan 19 fyd. Mae'r cwch y pen pellawch yr un mwy agos i'r harbwr. Eitha bell ymlaen fan hyn, so fi'n credu bod ni'n gallu sicrhau pwy sy'n mynd i ennill hwnna. Ond edrychwch draw ar y dynion, ni'n mynd i gael ras fan hyn.
What an exciting race in the under-19 men's solo. Absolutely nothing between the Spanish and French sculler. They are going stroke for stroke, Camilla.
Yeah, head down there in the French crew. Evan Callot just really...
Both scullers now in the men's solo hitting the beach together. They are both running up. It is too close to call from where I am. Nothing between France and Spain. I'm going to have to ask Camilla what happened there because we cannot see. But over in the women's solo, it is the sculler from Italy, Federica Cristina. She is running up the beach after making it in ahead of Poland. Super racing here in the men's under-19 solo and the under-19 women's solo. The first of the repêchages in that. So next up we will have in the men's solo, which is the left-hand side of the beach, we will have Netherlands against Germany. And then in the under-19 women's solo, we will have Germany and Japan.
Yes, so draw y ras nesaf nawr gyda'r dynion o dan 19. Mae dan i'r iseldiroedd, so Owen Knowles yn yr iseldiroedd yn llinell rhif 1, a wedyn o'r Almaen mae dan i Lino Zastro. A wedyn draw gyda'r menywod wedyn yr ochr dde fan hyn, to rhywun aelod arall o carfan yr Almaen, sef Monica Bundjushu, a wedyn o Japan mae Chihiro Murakami yn yr len rhif 2 yr ochr fan hyn, so cadw llygad mas ar pwy sy'n mynd i fod allan o'r trath yn gyntaf i'r cwchau.
Netherlands.
Attention. Go.
Attention.
Go!
Well, after that nail-biting repechage in the previous round, let's hope that we're in for more action here in these coastal under-19 men's single sculls. We've got Netherlands in 1 and Germany in 2. And again, a nice even start here, Scotty.
Yeah, a very even start. I think both in the seat at exactly the same time. However, I think the Netherlands rower managed to maybe get half a stroke in there first. However, it looks pretty bow to bow, neck and neck as they make their way out to the first mark. Probably the Netherlands rower leaving a bit more space than he needs to and just starting to come back down to the middle of his line now.
Yeah, we can only apologise for that slight cut in power. Absolutely typical. It was the closest race of the day that we experienced that. We'll have to wait with bated breath for the results on that one. But looks like we're in for another close one here, Niamh.
We absolutely are, Camilla. They were so close getting in, taking off at the same time. Very little between both scullers. But it looks like it might be Netherlands who have a slight lead. But again, quite difficult to say. They're just heading towards that turning marker now. So I'll call it as they are going through. But in the women's under-19 solo, very close as well. We have Germany and Japan both heading towards that turning marker. But let's go back to the men's solo. It looks like it is the Netherlands over in lane 1 over on the left-hand side, just getting in a couple of seconds ahead of Germany.
Ie, gyda'r dynion o dan 19, y rhwyfwr o'r Iseldirodd sy'n credu sy'n ar y blam yna, gath y droiad da iawn ar y bwyd diwetha nawr. Raso nôl i'r traeth, ond dwi'n credu deith hwn lawr i'r raso lan o'r môr i'r buzzer ar y diwedd fyna. Ond ochr dde, dwi'n credu bod y rhwyfraig o Japan ar y blaen fan hyn, nitha saff dden ni'n gweud o le dwyla fan hyn.
Yes, after that great turn, it is Owen Knowles from the Netherlands who really put in a lot of work and edging ahead of Germany there in the under-19 men's solo. So he's now after opening up clear water ahead of Germany, just approaching the beach there now. And also in the women's solo, they're also starting to approach that beach there. We have Germany versus Japan. So, but I think it is Owen Knowles that's going to get to you first there, Camilla.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is going to be the Dutch athletes. A great line in towards the beach here for the Netherlands. Owen Knowles is taking his time, certainly not flustered by the fact that it's still fairly close here. But like we say, energy preservation is key. He tumbles out a face full of water as he hits the beach. But that won't fluster him at all as he makes his way around the flag.
I think that might have been one of the most spectacular exits we've seen of any of the boats so far. I think just lost a footing on the, slippy sand, slippy boat, and, a full tumble. But that's him across the line and the German rower making his way to the finish now.
Yeah, and that was a great finish by Lino Zastro of Germany.
4, United States of America, lane 2, Portugal, lane 1.
And as you heard just there, the next of our repechages in this under-19 men's solo already getting ready to go. We've got the USA in lane 2, Portugal in lane 1, and both of these athletes wrapped up nice and warm with splash jackets, with buffs, with long sleeves. They're certainly feeling the chill here in Saundersfoot.
Heat 3, put
Bruce,
the boats
put
in the
your
water,
boat
please.
in the water. Get ready. United States of America, Portugal, attention, go!
Well, as we say, wrapped up nice and warm here. The USA and Portugal going out to sea in this under-19 men's solo. Brian O'Leary for the USA. We had the privilege of speaking to his dad a little bit earlier, Scotty, and he was saying O'Leary is so strong on the rowing machine. He's a really strong athlete, and he combines that with great skills as well out on the water.
Absolutely. We're hearing that he's a dinghy sailor, which means that he's got a good sense of the conditions out on the water and how to read them. So he'll be very at home, certainly in the windier, wetter conditions. And you can see he's wrapped up warm there in his gear. Very well prepared for what we've got as another lovely afternoon in Saundersfoot.
A little bit of caught water there for Portugal, and he's going to have to make a huge adjustment. The boat handler waving his left arm in the air frantically to get him to change course and make it on the correct side of that slalom buoy, because if not, a time penalty on the line if you're not on the correct side of those buoys. But what a wonderful start here for O'Leary of the USA, Neve.
Great racing here in the under-19 men's solo. It is USA. Brian O'Leary just coming into that turning, marker staying nice and wide, making sure he gets around nice and safely. Followed by the sculler Thomas Neves from Portugal just coming in, but Brian O'Leary really putting in a lot of work here. He is now heading straight for home. And then over at the right hand side of the beach we have the under-19 women's solo. We have Spain and Ireland. So close between these at the moment, but it is the sculler from Spain, Paula Giania, who has just come out ahead of Maya Fleming there from Workmen's Rowing Club in Ireland, but it's still very close between those two scullers.
Do, fi'n credu draw oedd na ras gyda'r dynion o dan 19. Dwi'n credu wedd bach o'n hawster gyda'r tîm o Portugal wrth bod yn mynd mas o'r dechrau'r y trath. Ond mae'n dala lan yn dda, ond dwi'n credu bod yr unol daleithiau bach rhy gryf. A draw fan hyn ar ochr dde gyda'r menywod o dan 19, mae hon yn ras agos iawn. A gyda'r pŵer yn dod trwyddo nawr i gyrraedd y trath, a dwi'n credu fydd e yn lawr i'r sprint, ond dwi'n credu taw Sbaen sy'n bach trwch blewyn ar ei blannu.
Brian O'Leary now of USA just starting to approach the beach ahead of Portugal, and in the women's solo it is still Spain ahead of Ireland. Camilla, looks like Brian O'Leary has this sewn up.
Yeah, he does. We've got two clear leaders in both sets of repêchages on the course at the moment, both the under-19 women's and men's. But here on course A, on the men's side, it is O'Leary of the USA who jogs into the beach, making it look easy, and that's going to be a win wrapped up for the American in this repêchage. Great finish here for Portugal as well. He's going to leave that boat to the boat handlers to take care of as he looks back and just ensures that he gets round that flag to complete this repêchage of the under-19 men's solo.
Repêchage 5, Egypt, lane 1, Poland, lane 2.
Heat 4, put the boats on the water, please.
Crews, put your boat in the water. Get ready. Egypt, Poland. Attention. Go.
Here we go. This is the penultimate repechage here in this under-19 men's solos. They hit the water with some speed. We've got Egypt in lane number 1. That is the Egyptian athlete Marwan Mohammed. And over in lane number 2, it's Poland. And we've got Patrick Cziszek for Poland. And a great start for both. We could be in for another really close race here.
We certainly could. I think perhaps the Egyptian rower got just a bit of a head start on it and is making a very tight rounding of this first mark. Again, giving metres away here, extra metres to row on the way back. So the closer they make these marks, the less distance they've got to eventually row. And now the conditions are settled down, the wind's eased off, and it's certainly able to do that. We can see...
We've got some great synchronized boat handling here, some great direction given from the Polish team as they move in sync to direct. Look to the right, they say. He needs to make it around that turning buoy, and he's not adjusting just yet. Neve, I think this could come down to the wire.
It absolutely will, Camilla. That Polish sculler, they're staying nice and tight to that second marker buoy. They almost got caught on it, but he just, as you said, he was taking a very straight line out to the turning buoy, but it is the sculler from Egypt, Marwan Mohammed, who is just around his turning marker, slightly ahead of Patrick from Poland. Then in the women's under-19 solos, we have over on the right-hand side of the beach, we have Poland and Netherlands. It looks like Poland have gotten around that marker buoy ahead of Netherlands. But over in the under-19 men's solo, it is definitely Egypt ahead of Poland.
Ie, gyda ras y dynion dan 19 wedd rhwyfwr o'r Eidal o'r Gwlad Pwyl, mae'n ddrwg da fi, wedi mynd rhwng bach yn llydan ar y bwy ar y top, ond mae'r rhwyfwr o Raifft wedi cael ras o'i fywyd yn dod nôl fan hyn nawr. Mae'n eitha amlwg bod e ar y blaen, ond ar yr ochr fan hyn, dwi'n credu taw yr rhwyfraig o yr Iseldiros sydd ar y blaen ar ôl i'r rhwyfraig o Portugal wedi cael bach o anhawster wrth mynd allan ar gyfer y bwy cyntaf.
We can really see the rowers here struggling through the low tide. There's not much water here, so they are trying to get in as far as they can before they jump out. But it looks like Egypt, Marwan Mohammed has the under-19 men's solo, Camilla.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way, but we know that it can be about that dismount. And as the boat handlers run towards the flag with him, he looks back just to check on where Poland are. He knows he's got enough time here to make it through to the buzzer with ease. He just stamps it with his foot to head over the line. I think he'd hit that ahead of Poland, who...
So we're on to the last few races of the afternoon. In the under-19 men's solo, we have just 3 repechages left. Next up, we will have Tunisia against Italy. Then after that, we will have Ireland against Sweden. And finally, Canada against Peru. So there over the left-hand side of the beach, if you are looking out. And then over on the right-hand side, we have the under-19 women's solo. And we have one more repechage, and that will be USA versus Canada.
So ar yr ochr dde o'r trath fan hyn nawr tuag at yr harbwr yn y cwrs yna, mae'r ras diwetha y menywod o dan 19 gyda'r Unol Daleithiau mynd yn erbyn Canada. Mae'r ras newydd ddechrau. A wedyn mae'r ras y dynion le mae Tunisia yn erbyn yr Eidal. Na i danfod chi nôl lawr at nif I sylwebu.
Yes, the under-19 women's solo just off 2 scholars off, quite similar, but I think it is the USA Brit Wotovic. They're just getting a better start ahead of Alexandra Duggan of Canada. So that's over the right-hand side of the beach. Great start there by both scholars. And then over on the left-hand side, we have the under-19 men's solo. So Tunisia and Italy just heading off out the course around their first marker. Of course, I think the wind is after dying down from where I can see, so they're not having to go too wide around the solemn marker buoys at the moment. They're able to take a much straighter line now because their bows aren't being pushed too much. But here in the under-19 women's solo, it is still the USA ahead of Canada.
A dim mae'r tywydd wedi gwella nawr ers dechrau rhasys yn Prynhawn ma. So ni yn gallu gweld mas nawr gle mae'r gwynt ddim yn pwysio gymaint i'r chwith. So maen nhw yn gallu cael y llinell syth na i mynd lan trwy'r cwrs nes maen nhw'n cyrraedd y bwy ar y top. A beth mae'n edrych fel nawr? Mae'n edrych fel taw Tunisia sydd just ar y blaen nawr yn llinell rhy doi fyna. Draw fan hyn ar y menywod. Mae'n edrych o Canada. O beth ni chi gweld fan hyn? Os mae'n nôl yr papurau sy'n flaen fan hyn, maen nhw just ar y blaen fyna nawr yn erbyn yr Unol Daleithiau yn dylawr yr final straight fan hyn nawr ar gyfer y trath.
In the under-19 men's solo, it is Mohamed Rayan Hafsa for Tunisia who is leading this race ahead of Sebastiano Laurenti of Italy. And then in the under-19 women's solo, it is still Brit Wotovic of USA ahead of Alexandra Duggan. So Camilla, they should be just starting to come into your view there on the beach. There was quite a bit between them, but I think Tunisia just have the lead ahead of Italy in the under-19 men's solo.
Yeah, and I think it's been navigation that has given them that lead. It's been a more direct route back to the beach for the Tunisian athlete. Italy trying desperately to cling on, but this has been a great directional game here by the Tunisian Mohamed Rayan Hafsa in lane number 2 and gliding across this rather nice.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've said all along throughout this, those that row the shortest distance will probably be the one that wins it, and the good navigation certainly helps. Things are settled right down. There's barely any wind here anyway, so it was a nice, easy landing for the Tunisian athlete and running his way across the line now.
So there it is. Hafsa of Tunisia will come across the line, and the Italian rolling in behind him, Sebastiano Laurenti of Italy, will complete this repechage and hit the buzzer to conclude the end of this race.
Repechage 7. Ireland, lane 2. Sweden, lane 1.
Cool.
Crews, put your boat in the water.
So the boats go into the water. In lane 1, it's Sweden's Simon Karlsson. And in lane number 2, we've got Ireland's Cormac Benson.
Get ready. Ireland, Sweden. Attention. Go.
We had some great spectator support for both Ireland and Sweden here in this repechage, and it's going to carry them into the waves and dancing over those ripples. Sweden gets into the boat nice and securely. Same for Ireland, who's already taking some short, sharp strokes to get out there. And I think Ireland were the better than the start there, Scotty.
They certainly were. I think it was neck on the run, but I think the Irishman managed to just get half a stroke in there first, and that's just got him underway that little bit quicker. But as always, we'll only really be able to tell once they've made their way up to that first turning mark. That seems to be the point that's make or break. Those that gets that mark rounding in well, and on the return leg first, it seems to be the one that normally brings it home.
Lots of space being given there by Ireland. Sweden having to make up ground, so choosing the more direct route, running over that slalom boy. And I think it has gained the Swedish athlete, Carl, some ground. Neve, what's your perspective from up there in the commentary box?
Yes, Ireland definitely had the better start, but there's not much between them now as they go past that second marker. Sweden there made up a lot of ground, as you mentioned, between the first and second slalom markers there. Cormac Benson here in lane 2, representing St. Michael's Rowing Club in County Limerick in Ireland. Great sculler here, but Simon Carlson is really after working hard to get to that turning marker first. So he has gone in, he is turned, and he is heading for home ahead of Cormac. But there is still not much between the two of them. Simon has gotten his boat up, the speed up quite quick now after the turn. He is putting in so much work. Of course, this is a knockout round, so whoever gets to that final buzzer will go through to the next round. And as they're passing that middle marker, it is definitely Sweden ahead of Ireland now.
Do, ni'n gweld fyna nawr bod Iwerddon wedi cael dechreuad da allan o'r trath a wedi cael bod ar y blaen lot o'r rhan gyda o ras, ond wrth gwrs dath Sweden lan a dal lan dy fe gyfer y bwyd diwetha, a mae'r nawr y pŵr yn mynd mewn. Ond o fan hyn, mae fe'n edrych yn agos iawn, ond dwi'n credu Sweden bach ar y blaen.
Yes, just going past that final marker now, it is Simon Carlson of Sweden ahead of Cormac Benson of Ireland. It is all to play for here. It is all about the dismount, as you say, Camilla, and that sprint up the beach.
Yeah, Benson's really chucked the rating up here for Ireland. Short, sharp strokes to get him into the beach as quick as possible. He's still within touching distance of Carlson of Sweden. And depending on the dismount here, if it's clean, it's all here for Sweden. But if not, Ireland still very much in the mix.
Absolutely, and as we saw with so many of the other races and said at the beginning, I think it was the Swedish rower that managed to get that slightly cleaner rounding of the top mark, and as expected, made it back to the beach first.
And there it is. It's Sweden over the line in this penultimate repechage for the under-19 coastal men's solos. Just one more race to go here in this event to conclude our next round participants in this category.
Repechage 8. Canada, lane 2. Peru, lane 1. Bruce, put your boat in the water. Get ready. Canada, Peru.
All right, let's hear some noise for the last race of the day here at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. Canada in 2, Peru in 1. And a great start here for the Canadian Denis Ovdiyenko of Canada going head-to-head with Mark Moses of Peru.
Interesting to see the Canadian a little bit more pace there on the sprint down the beach. He took the long run round the flag and still made it into the seat first and rowing fast. He's making a fast line out for that first mark. A little bit of a navigational correction needed for Peru in lane 1, but they're starting to bring it back round now.
Yeah, great directions being given by all the boat handlers here, getting them safely around the correct side of that slalom buoy. It's on the right-hand side if you're looking at it from the beach, and then they need to swerve round to the left. And looking fairly even after that start. I think Peru just trying to adjust course once again. And may need to here is heading currently for the wrong side of that buoy. Neve, how has that affected Moses' pace?
Yeah, he's definitely slowed him down a little bit, but he is just passing, I think, at the right side of it, just about there as they head out towards the turning marker. The start that the Canadian sculler had was incredible there now, and he's really opened up a lot of space ahead of the sculler from Peru. So it is Denis Ovdiyenko there of Canada just going around that turning marker nice and quick, and he is straight and heading for home, followed in by the sculler from Peru, Mark Moses there, digging deep and pulling, and he got a really quick turn there actually, but it is still Canada out ahead of Peru.
Do Canada cael dechreuad da o'r trath fan hyn, a wedyn wrth bod rhwyfwr o Peru, Mark Moses, wrth bod e'n mynd lan, goffodd e'n neud cywiriad bach wrth bod e'n cyrraedd yr ail bwy ar y slalom. Rhag ofon fydde fe yn mynd ochr rong, wrth gwrs, os oedd e'n mynd yr ochr anghywir, mae hwnna'n meddwl fydde fe yn cael cosp amser, ond nath e rownd yr ochr iawn. Troiad cyflym ar y top, ond mae'n edrych fel o fan hyn bod y rhwyfwr o Canada ar y blaen a falle mynd i ennill y ras hyn.
Yes, Mark Moses of Peru is after putting in such great work here, and he is just passing that final marker ahead of Canada on the right hand side of the course, so very little between the two. Canada definitely had a better start, got around the turn first, but the sculler from Peru, Mark Moses, putting in such hard work, and we can see the boats nearly slowing down now as they go through that low tide. We can see even from meters and meters away how tough it is there. Boats are kind of slowing down, they're having put in a lot of work. But Camilla, I'm not sure now who's going to hit first. Maybe Canada?
Yeah, I think Canada, and we'll all hold our breath. This could be an absolute treat here for this final repechage of the day. Canada will hit the beach first, but won't be out of the boat first. It will be the Peruvian athlete Moses. Around the flag goes Canada. He's going to have to sprint harder. Those legs look tired, and I think Peru's going to win it on the sprint. So close here, that final race of the day, and looks like the umpires have okayed that one. Wowie, Scotty, what a race to finish on.
Yeah, again, that was, I think, one of the closest finishes we've seen of the day there. Clearly tired legs, struggling to make their way up the wet, sticky sand. I don't think I could have called that really across the line.
No, I think we'll wait for the final results to be confirmed. But what a finish there in this under-19 men's solos. And that wraps up all of the racing for today. We're back again tomorrow. And I'm going to pass you back to Neve and Caris to talk you through what we've got to look forward to on the Saturday of the World Rowing Beach Sprints Finals.
Thank you so much, Camilla and Scotty, having to brave the elements there on the beach all day. What a great day of racing we have just put down. So tomorrow, day 2 of the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals, we will be starting at 8:50 a.m. with the last 16 of the mixed double sculls. So they already went through 2 processional time trials today, so they're into their last 16 now tomorrow morning, and that will be followed by the second time trial for the men's solo and the women's solo. So a great morning of racing ahead.
Ie, am ddiwrnod arbennig o ras o'n i wedi cael fan hyn ar diwrnod 1 pencampwriaeth rhwyfo'r byd, y rhasys sprint y traeth. A ni wedi cael diwrnod anhygol fan hyn, ond bore fori fydd y cyfan yn cychwyn eto am 10 munud i 9 gyda'r rhasys, le ni'n dechrau gweld cwchau yn cael ei bwrw allan nawr, so mae'r gystadleuaeth i gyd na'r pwy bynnag sy'n ennill y gystadleuaeth hyn sy'n mynd i fy mlaen i'r rown nesaf, a byddwn ni'n cychwyn gyda deuawd cymysg.
So again, first racing tomorrow will be at 8:50 a.m. and we will be going right up until about 5:30 tomorrow evening. So thank you all for coming and for supporting our athletes here today, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.